It's Empty Folder, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Now, who said that Fire Golem is B tier? Let's watch and see what's the tier. There we go. We have a level 1 Necromancer, and we'll go through two scenarios. One is you're leveling by yourself solo, or you're starting with a group. What I would recommend is actually starting with a group, so you can actually do golems right away, because this will actually give you the opportunity to be maybe the first Necromancer to do Dclone after you reach Hell, because it's that easy with Blood Golem, though not with Fire Golem. The other way is going to be if you're starting by yourself. I strongly recommend skeletons, skeleton mastery. Then you can do revives. This is really pretty straightforward. It doesn't need a lot of investment, doesn't need a lot of thinking. It's very easy. You can get 1 point in bone armor, just so you can do something during the leveling, and 1 point of amplify damage. The rest, you just do the skeletons and the skeleton archers. Later on, you can do revives. They're pretty strong. And if you're gonna add revives as well, all you have to do is get 1 point of desecrate. You would go to Act 3, Trav, and you'd cast Desecrate, which will create 5 corpses, and these 5 corpses are going to be these leeches that actually cast Fireball. They're pretty strong. When you get to Hell, I strongly recommend that you stay with skeletons. You can actually do tier 1 maps with them, and they're pretty strong. All you need is skillers. Now, one thing I do not recommend you do is respect to golems. As you can see, actually all of them have synergies with each other, and you need to put 20 hard points in Golem Mastery, because every 5 base level is going to give you 1 extra Golem. So you're looking to get the 5 golems, but I would strongly recommend staying with skeletons and revive until you get enough currency to make an Infinity. Infinity is just so strong and works so well with Fire Golem. So you can still do it. TDL says that it's actually great even without Infinity. My personal experience is that I just, in Season 11, I just wait straight forward for it, because my economy game was strong, so I was able to get Infinity on day 2 or 3, I think. So even if you take several days playing skeletons, probably it's gonna feel even more rewarding switching to Fire Golems after. I wouldn't even hesitate if I get a Jah drop, just making a beast for these skeletons. They're really good. You have Blood Warp to teleport around, so you have an innate mobility. Now, if you start with a group, what I would recommend is just go for Clay Golems and Blood Golems and Golem Mastery, just because you'll be able to get carried. These are not that strong, like, not even enough strong as skeletons and archers are, but they would still bring enough meat, I would say, in a group. So if you have a group, you're doing an 8 people, damage is very sufficient for LOD content from any of the characters that you're running. So you can easily go Clay Golems and Blood Golems and just rock with them until you reach Hell. Now the good part is that you can actually do Dclone with level 22 Blood Golems and basically no gear. All you need to do is just cap resistances. That's it. Alright, so no more blabbing on that Dclone kill. Now, this was in Season 11 closed beta. I did not, actually I was testing the new changes. I was trying to double phase him, which actually I think in this run I double phase him, which means that he summons his skeletons during his Nova, which can be very dangerous. But to be honest, now we have 3 open portals for this fight, so I wouldn't even stress it that much. You don't really do much here. All you have to do is keep your golems at 5 and try to keep Dclone in the middle. just because you don't want to be next to the pillars, because your golems may just start attack the pillars and you cannot control that. Now let me explain the Thorn Zower and the bow. Now the idea here is that actually just a level 22, as I said, Blood Golem can do this. It's gonna be slow, it'll take about 10 minutes, but it's very doable with basic gear that you're gonna get through campaign. At this particular run, I had actually spawned about 10 rare rings, I spawned several rare gloves and boots, and I just picked whatever was best. I crafted 3 safety armors, so I can get maybe some PDR, and I just got whatever was best of the 3 and I went with it. Now the bow is edge because it gives you a Thorn aura, and the idea here is that all the skeletons and archers, because they're doing actually attacks, it will return damage. So the point is to get faster clear on the 3 phases of skeletons. Now I tried this twice. Oh yeah, here server crashed. I tried this twice, and to be fair, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. The fight is still long and boring. You don't have to really do much as just pound the golems and run around. But one thing you need to know that is very, very, very important. If you're further than 10 yards than Dclone, he becomes immune, which means that if you're gonna run around, you still have to hold his hand pretty much. And let me show you how much are 10 yards here. I strongly encourage you try this fight. What I'd recommend is getting Inferno Strides as boots, so you can get a little bit max fire as, and maybe a Dwarf Star for a little bit of absorb. But it doesn't work that great when you only have 80% fire resistance. It's gonna help. Oh, there is that. But thankfully we have three portals, so you can just rejoin the game. Just make sure that your game is more than 2 minutes long, just because games that are less than 2 minutes in PD2 are not getting saved. It will disappear right away. So make sure that your game is at least 2 minutes in length already. And now for the last part, we'll go through the very end game best in slot gear that you can possibly have. Now keep in mind that this is for season 11 and this was my actual character. And one thing that I'll change for season 12 is actually running Epiphany shield instead of the rare shield that I have. Just this one was so nice that I didn't want to get rid of it. We have 2 setups. One is going to be the one that we joined the game, the snapshot build, and the items that we use to map. So what we basically do is get in a game, because every time you join a new game, these are resummoned on the back end. So the inventory that you get in, this is what you end up getting in a new game. So it's going to be 7,970, but because we have Flickering Flame, it's going to be 8,339, and we don't have to use CTA. So the weapon is gonna be a mirrored 6 fire golem wand with corruption. That's gonna be 5% fire skill damage and faster cast rate. Of course, we don't care about the faster cast rate here. The tiara is gonna be again plus 1 all skill slam with 2 sockets. This end up being actually better than the 3 socket one. I apologize if I misled somebody from the previous video. Amulet is gonna be a mirrored 5 all skill. This is actually my trophy for the season. I waited quite a while for this weapon. I already quit the season, and someone messaged me that there was one of these that was online. I actually ended up breaking it, and then later, again, this showed up later this season. That was the first one to drop, so at that point there was only this one and the black version of this. So this is gonna be a 6 fire golem magic Kenter trophy, and it slammed 3 sockets. This was incredibly rare. At this point I think that there at least 4. I know that the second that dropped was mirrored again, and that was maybe months and a half, 2 months ago, maybe at this point. I cannot even say, but I can definitely say that this is one of the rarest items. For a 6 fire golem to drop is 1 in 71,000 chance, and the 3 socket I believe is 3%. I'm actually not sure on this, don't quote me. That Ormus again is going to be 1 O skill with perfect 15 fire skill damage. The rest doesn't actually matter at all. We have Graven Palm for 1 summoning skill, so we don't care about anything else. 1 skill here, 1 skill here, 1 skill here. And for the charms, I have only 1 summoning skill, and the rest is gonna be fire skill damage. And of course, 2 skill Ani. And this is how we get it. So once we join a game, we do this. We do this exercise. Let me remember how I did it. So okay, this is what we do, and boom. So now for the MF gear, I like to be unconventional. So what most people do is run a Dominion. I don't really find any value in this. It's just simple 1 for 1 extra golem that spawns with about 5,000 damage, I think, instead of 7,000. Our damage is already high, so might as well just add some quality of life and fix some other issues that we have. In this case, Phoenix is great because we have Redemption Aura. We get to every second, actually, every 1 tick, we're gonna end up getting our life full and mana. So this is great. Actually, maybe not that great because here and there create some issues because it's as you know in Diablo, because it's a not game. Sorry, it's gonna be every tick is every 1 second. It's not any less. Anyways, this is a Ethereal War Scepter. I think it looks cool. I think it looks awesome. It was very difficult to find any ethereal weapon. It kind of fits the necro. I don't know. It really fixed the necromancer here. Like, looks super cool. I did run Scooter's Ire with 3 socket that was ethereal. You know that it's self-repair before, but I saw it. I had a lot of MF. Nothing was dropping. And actually, when I dropped my MF to what it is about now, 200 even, I actually got much more better items. I don't know. I had about 450, I think, at that point. So this is going to be our MF armor. We have Shaco with some Ists, because there's nothing else actually we need, and CBF Slam. This is actually one of the more interesting pieces. That was extremely cheap. I think I bought this for Ist, maybe on week 1, and I never found anything better than this. We do have 5 to blood warp on this with 3 sockets, so I was able to fix some resistances, add more MF, and actually for the level of blood warp, I have 0.6 seconds, and I think this is pretty sufficient. Of course, if we use bow here, it's gonna be less. I've had it with no cooldown, which is still great, but as you know, your tick is every second, so pretty much we can't get this any faster. So anything under 1 second here is great. It's just gonna be harder on the timing. So 0.6 gives us actually a lot of leverage here. Sorry, and that's pretty much it. Maybe I can show the stats. I have a little bit of vitality. I dumped the rest in energy, just because bone armor gets its bonuses from hard points in energy. We do not need, honestly, any lower resistance. It's nice if you have it. I had it somewhere on the previous build, but regardless, you don't really need low resistance or anything. The damage is so high, and just having to cast 1 more spell is maybe annoying. Here we can play this only with 1 hand. All you need to do is to do this, like this, and that's pretty much it. You can play with 1 hand while drinking beer in the left, or smoke a joint, or whatever your poison is.